Hey guys, welcome back to Miss C's Fashion Club. Today, we're going to work on dyeing fabrics using vegetable dye. We're going to use beets or carrots. But first, of course, a little bit of history. So some data suggests that dyeing fabrics or dyeing cloth was done more than 4,000 years ago because of some of the fabrics found in Egyptian tombs. There's also evidence in cave paintings as back as 15,000 BCE. A little vocabulary for you. Today's vocabulary words are surface design, dye, tie-dye, and fixative or mordant. So let's go back to the top. Surface design is any pattern, picture, material, or drawing applied to a surface. Dye is a substance used to color materials, and it can be a natural material. Could be roots, berries, leaves, bark, even some shellfish. Tie-dye is when a piece of clothing or yarn gets tied into a tight bundle and then you dye it using various colors. A fixative or a mordant is a chemical that helps to keep the dye from washing away when you put it in the washing machine. Our fixative today is going to be vinegar and salt. Okay, so materials. Now, this is a long project in the sense that there's a lot of steps and a lot of materials. However, it's stuff that you may have in your house already. So for day one, or part one, vegetables, salt, a small pot, nothing non-stick, a knife for the parents to help to use to cut the vegetables, a measuring cup, a measuring spoon, a strainer, a funnel, and a medium-sized squeeze bottle. For day two, we need vinegar, one white or light colored item to dye, rubber bands, plastic or rubber gloves, one large pot, and one measuring cup. So I chose beets for my choice because I wanted a pinkish or a reddish color. If you choose carrots, then you'll get a more orange color when you finish the project. You want to peel and cut your vegetables into pieces. The pieces don't have to be small. And then you put it into a pot. You want 2 cups of water for every cup of vegetables that you have. So it's a ratio of 2 to 1. You bring it to a boil, and then once it boils, you cover the pot and you let it simmer. So I had about 1.5 cups of beets, so I put 3 cups of water and brought it to a boil. After it's done simmering for that hour, you're going to turn off the fire under the pot and you're going to remove the pieces of beets with a slotted spoon into a separate bowl to be thrown away after it cools down. And you're left with a reddish liquid in your pot. Let it cool completely. And after it cools completely, you take your funnel and you put it into your squeeze bottle. This is actually a ketchup squeeze bottle that I found in the dollar store. And then you pour your liquid that was left in the pot into that squeeze bottle. I still had some left over, so I could have used less beets. Then you take a tablespoon of salt and you let it dissolve into that liquid. Now I had only a teaspoon, so 3 teaspoons make a tablespoon. Okay, so the next step, I took about 16 cups of water, enough to cover the t-shirt in the pot, and then I put 4 cups of vinegar in, and I let it come to a boil, and then I let it simmer for an hour. So again, the ratio is 4 cups of water to 1 part of vinegar in order for the fabric to soak up as much dye as possible. Vegetable dyes, though, come out very, very light. They don't come out as dark as man-made or synthetic dyes. But even still, if you want it to stay in the clothes for any amount of time, you have to do this step. And then the last step is the fun part. And this is basically adding the dye to the t-shirt. Now, I waited till the t-shirt, I poured out all the water. I wrung the t-shirt out to make sure that there was not a lot of excess water. I let it cool down, right? So I didn't take it out. I didn't start touching it while it was hot. And then I took the dye that I had made and I started to put it all over the t-shirt. Now remember, when you use vegetable dye, this looks really, really bright, but it's not going to come out as bright as you see it here. Vegetable dye doesn't come out as bright as man-made dyes. So we add the dye all over to the t-shirt and then put it into a plastic bag and let it rest. You can let it rest overnight. When you finish and it rests overnight, you open it up, you rinse it out, and you see what kind of designs you got. So you actually want to let it dry. After you rinse it out, you want to let it dry and then see what you've got. So happy making. I hope you liked this video. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe.